Welcome back everybody. Today I am going to do a video about fragrances that I find I can wear all year round regardless of what season I'm in. I want to preface this by saying that I pretty much wear my entire wardrobe all year round at any particular time of the year. And the reason for that is because I tend to wear at least 2 scents of the day. I will put something on in the morning, and most mornings here where I live in Melbourne, it is still cool enough to wear whatever type of fragrance I have. And then depending on the season, that might be warmer later in the afternoon, I'll choose something that's a bit more suitable for the weather. So if it is warmer, I'll tend to go for something fresher. And I do have fragrances in my wardrobe that are better suited for cold weather. They are the really heavy kind of resinous oriental style fragrances, lots of dark woods. And then I have stuff that, you know, works very well in warmer weather. Generally for me they're going to be citruses or some, you know, spicier fragrances. I have got here bottles that I've chosen from my wardrobe that I find I can wear pretty much year round, whether it's warm or cold. They may not work on you, but they certainly work for me. And the reason I call them all year round fragrances is I never feel uncomfortable wearing any of these fragrances regardless of whether it's warm or cold. And so I'm going to kick off. I won't spend too much time on each fragrance, but I'll just briefly explain why I do like them any time of the year. And this will be in a random order, so there's no ranking here. Okay, so the first one here is Woody Mood by Olfactive Studios. Okay, so this one here I really like because it opens up with this kind of almost fizzy, light, spicy ginger note, and then develops with some wispy incense and then woods into the base. So it has enough depth and heft for wear in cooler weather, but that opening, especially the opening, is actually quite a bright opening, and it works well in warmer weather. And I feel like I can wear this any time of the year. The next one is one of my newer acquisitions. This one here is Boy Chanel from the Chanel Les Exclusives line. Okay, so this is kind of a modern take, I think, on, you know, your fougere fragrance, lavender, and in the base you get musks, you get even some powdery notes like heliotrope, but this also has a beautiful floral heart, and I particularly pick up things like orange blossom. And orange blossom, neroli, I usually equate with warmer weather scents. It just has lodged itself into my psyche like that. So it's really, really versatile, and you can't not smell good wearing this. And here we move into a scent that I kind of like to describe as an aquatic chypre, Francesca Bianchi's Etruscan Water. It is one of the best scents in my fragrance collection. There is aquatic freshness, like almost marine, wet. I always associate it with wet stones or rocky coasts, and there is mossiness as well. And it is amazing because it has so much depth that it's suitable to wear in cooler weather, but also one of the longest lasting freshies I've ever tried or ever worn. Etruscan Water, and it smells fantastic. That's from Francesca Bianchi, Etruscan Water. Okay, this one here I like. It's from Cartier Declaration. I like this because it opens up with a fresh bitter orange, but there are some really nice warm spices, but the spices don't necessarily make it a heavy scent. It does get woody in the base, but never do I associate this particular fragrance as a heavy, warm fragrance. I think it's just like perfectly pitched right down the middle where it can work in warm weather or cold weather. Next on the list is Dior's Eau Sauvage Parfum. Now, I've got both versions, the 2012 version, the original one, and the most recent update, the 2017. They are slightly different. I do have a video comparing both of them, but I chose the 2017 because Dior actually did make this reformulation of the original to be more versatile, to be worn all year round, and they pulled it off fantastically. And where the main tweaks are in the opening, they freshened it up with a bit of extra citruses, and they've just lightened it up, but it dries down pretty similar to the base of the original one in this 2017 version. And I have worn this in summer and worn this in cooler weather, and the performance is excellent again, like the original 2012 version as well. Next is one you all know, I think. This is Timbuktu from L'Artisan Parfumeur. Okay, the freshness of that green mango in the beginning, the papyrus lightens everything up, and even the incense here and the vetiver are all light enough and cool enough to... I almost see this as a warm weather fragrance by default because of the imagery it evokes in my mind. This in the dead of winter can really sort of brighten your mood, or at least elevate your mood to the way you might feel when the weather starts to change seasons and you start to get some warmer air and that kind of thing. It's almost like a magic trick for your mind wearing this fragrance. My most recent review, this is Equipage Geranium from Hermes. Nothing much to add to my review from the other day, but it is a lovely minty geranium on very light woods, and it is an invigorating scent, an uplifting scent, but it has enough to be worn all year round and be suited to pretty much any occasion. You don't need it makes it very versatile, and you don't need to worry about what you're doing to wear this fragrance. Okay, the next one might be a little bit, some people might find this one a little bit harder to pull off in very warm weather, but I find that the citruses of Le Troisième Homme, or the third man from Caron, work really well to create this perfect balance between the spices, the warmer spices, and the woods in the base of the mossiness. But it never gets too heavy. It's definitely not as dense and heavy as something like Caron's Yataghan, or even as warm and fluffy as something as Pour un Homme by Caron. This, I find, is a really nice medium for wear all year round. Okay, the next one I have is from Lorenzo Villoresi. This one I have not reviewed yet. It is Incensi from Lorenzo Villoresi. This is, as the name suggests, an incense perfume. I'll just spray some on because I haven't actually worn this in a while. So there is a lovely fresh green opening with incense, and it's a very fresh incense. I think the freshness mainly comes from the green notes that are in here. I think there's actually green apple in the opening, and this wears very light on your skin, and I don't mean that in that it's weak. I mean it doesn't feel any heavy, or the incense never gets too overpowering or suffocating as some incense or smokier fragrances can do. But Incensi by Villoresi is one that This is another one similar to Equipage Geranium that is a very uplifting scent. All right, the last one in my list of bottles I have here comes from Comme des Garçons. This one here, I did a review a long time ago, is Two Man from Comme des Garçons. The reason I find that I can wear this all year round is that this has really sparkly aldehydic opening. I think there is a really light, bright vetiver in here. The incense again is like some of the other incense fragrances I have here with me today, in that it provides a lightness more than a heavy smokiness. It's like a cooling effect that some of these incense fragrances provide. And so the combination of the aldehydes, the vetiver, the incense, and I think there is a kumquat note, which is a type of citrus, and that really does lighten everything up. And again, this on my skin performs really well and easily detectable when it's really cold too. And I like this one because it kind of changes character depending on the environment. A few of these actually do, but this one kind of reacts differently depending on whether it's colder or warmer on your skin. Well, I hope you found that informative, or you have seen some fragrances there that you may not have realized could work well in all types of weather. I know I'm seeing a lot of springtime lists on YouTube at the moment, and that's because it's Northern Hemisphere spring. It's starting to get cold here, but like I said at the beginning of the video, as far as I'm concerned, I wear pretty much everything whenever I want. I adjust the sprays if something might be too heavy for, you know, a warm day. It's all experimentation and doing what feels right. I am happy for you to have joined me to watch this video, and I'll see you all soon.